And we are officially live. I can see that red button. So welcome to our conversation on being with Rachel and Marie-Sandrine and me, Helen. What else is possible here?
What else is possible here? I'm excited to be here with you guys. I love these conversations a lot. It for me, they're a huge invitation and a gift to just see what is it that makes people choose these tools? How is it that these tools change them or shift them or it's not so much that it changes them, but it unhides them.
Yeah.
What we've been doing with the sessions the last few, last week and this week, the unhiding, that everything that's coming out, the being willing to be fully you. And it's so amazing and such a gift for me and truly an honor. I'm so grateful that I get to hear it and see different perspectives and different ways of people being and celebrating the gift of that.
Exactly, because each one of us is so unique. Like I love when you're saying about the little snowflakes, because each one is unique, each one is a gift, and so we are. And by being who we are, it brings all of it up. So those conversations kind of bring that into the not the existence, but actually into the light to see what has changed, what is different now versus before when we were hiding, when we were not acknowledging our gifts. And you started talking before we even had the conversation. Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
When we had like before we started that conversation, you were talking about being too much. Can you? Yeah, let's talk about that.
So for people who don't know me, so I am from France and I am certified.
Part of France.
Sorry, what
part of France?
South of France, Marseille. And I travel a lot, but now I am in France. And I chose to be a certified facilitator, being you there is 2 years ago. I was just certified facilitator, and for me, it was the class change the most thing for me. And what to talk about, ladies, about this kind of people finding their way to being them. What I discover is we don't have to search what we are. We really have to discover what we hide. Finally,
I love that.
Yeah.
And it was what happened. And this is this magic to stop to being in the perfection of us, stop to look at other people, what I have to do, what is good to do, what is not good to do, and truly begin to ask a question: what could make my life happier? This is a good way to go in this space of being you, of being, just being, because when you are happy, you are always in your state of being, whatever you do, whatever you look like, wherever you are. The thing it's this adventure of being you, it's the adventure of your happiness, and always to have the choice to do and be what it's light for you and make you happy. And yes, you want to add something about that?
I was gonna say, for most people on the planet, actually that big request to be happy is considered too much. Like it's unrealistic on this planet, at least the way most people see it. I mean, for me, it's a choice in every moment, but not everybody sees that they can choose that or that it's permitted for them to choose that. And that's where the unhiding comes in. Because as kids, we all knew we could be happy. Where did we forget?
We actually we know, we not just know, we just be it, because it's not even knowing it, because you can know, you can imagine, you can do whatever you want in your mind, but unless you be it, that's where the trick is, because people a lot of times searching it outside when the space is actually inside. It's a choice to be that.
Yes. And it's also to let it go all reference point we have about what we are, definition we took about what, this like of etiquette, you are this, you are that, etc.
Mhm.
And with all of that, finally we create like a costume of us, but this is in many
Mhm.
times what we are. So yeah, this thing about being too much is the same. Finally, when you are different, for people that can be too much. And when you hear when people say it's too much, it's something wrong. So this
Yeah.
is something you begin to stop to be, to begin to be normal as other people, and be in this standard, or you are in the same possibilities than other people. Even if you know more is possible, you have doubt this thing. It's too much. It's bad. So you stop yourself. So this invitation about being too much, it's a group of people. We have this conversation, and what we begin to see, it's finally being too much. It's being you, and this is to push this button. You stop to push to just add more and more in your life. Don't have limitation about anything. And as I said, if you choose something make you happy, even if it's too much for other people, it's not wrong. It's just what you are. And how much that could be an invitation for other people to choose more and to be also too much rather than to maintain themselves in this normal way to be in this reality.
Yeah. Exactly. Because people kind of think that you have only this much choice. You can choose vanilla or chocolate. Because
Yeah,
that's how a lot of people are.
that is not too much
Strawberry?
choice.
No. And
No, that doesn't give too much
especially
choice.
like the one that I love is salted caramel. Does not exist for a lot of people.
Yes, and if you can begin to test the vanilla and after chocolate, and you don't have to finish and to take something else. This is this craziness, this thing not linear, but just yes, it's like something sometimes to be like in an arrogance of being, be
Mhm.
arrogant. Yes, it's just
Mhm.
don't have point of view about people will think about that, but just if it's fun for you, and if yes, you don't have to force yourself to finish, do, or choose something don't work for you. So this way to be arrogant, it's also the thing about up the volume and don't listen to people, just listen what is fun for you.
Yeah.
Well, that's huge, actually. That's it's not a throwaway statement or a quick thing. Is how many of us have given up on being because we've listened to the voices outside, because we've listened to the perspectives outside, because we've tried to make ourselves, I don't know, kind of fit in with what other people
Likable.
outside have done. Yeah,
Likable.
yeah, to be likable or comparable or accepted or whatever, rather than that arrogance, that fullness, that beauty of just, this works for me. I like this. If I were being me, what flavor would I choose? And you know what? Even if somebody only has a buffet of chocolate and vanilla, even there are choices. I remember in Texas, we grew up with French vanilla bean. That was one of the flavors that we had. Okay, there was plain vanilla, but there was the French vanilla bean with the little, black specks inside, and there was old country time vanilla that was like creamy. There are variations, there are choices in everything, even the plain vanilla or the simple chocolate, or is it Godiva, or is it, some other variation? Who knows? But we've always got the choice, and we can see what is it that delights us, truly, truly delights us, and brings us to life.
So basically, what you're saying, Rachel, it, there is no pure black and white. There are shades and colors
Yeah.
that people can choose. But somehow we forget that, or not so much forget, but we were told that there is only one right answer, only one right choice.
Or that it's either black or white.
Yeah, yeah,
They've
and you
missed all
choose
the other
either black or
colors of possibilities.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you choose either black or
So what
white because
changed for
only
you, Marie-Sandrine? With sorry,
Uh,
go ahead.
when
yeah.
when you spoke about that, I just
I interrupted Helen.
oh,
Mhm.
sorry. So when you spoke about that, Rachel, about many possibilities, for people listen to this conversation, we just can see your body, your being, just being joyful and this excitement, like I can do that, I can do that, I can do that, and this is this freezing energy and like a child, this
Mhm.
excitement about all possibilities and also this kind of energy of playing with the life, make no things significant, and yes, can be front of ice cream as a child. Finally, it's like something like that I perceive when you spoke.
Yeah. So how much we forget about that child innocence, child excitement
Totally.
about, yeah. And with all of that, kind of like, can you speak a little bit about why? And I know we don't talk about why in Access, but why did you choose to become Being You Facilitator? What brought you here?
Because that changed my life. And I am this kind of person when something worked for me and truly bring me ease and more possibilities. I like to talk about that. So I love to share what's changed things for me, and if that something could be a contribution for people, they perhaps never hear about that, perhaps
Hmm.
don't believe about that, but this is also your way to be your own invitation, because we are all from about different country, different. I don't know. We have a job before. We
Hmm.
are in different.
So, what were
Like
you doing before? I'm just curious. Sorry to
I
interrupt.
was, I was in company. I was a manager, and I was in a company where there were many rules. So
Mhm.
it was limited to also bring your own personality and what you want to bring in a business when the business is so big and international, etc. So what I loved as a manager was to yes, build with other people in team possibilities with different personality.
Mhm.
Don't have robot around me, but people have their own capacity, potency, and how altogether we can finally outcreate each of us. So this is
Mhm.
also this way to being you in your life. It's to truly don't fit with other life or ways to live, and how you can bring people around you to create greater together. So this is and invite also people to being them. The thinking of being you and let people being them, it's truly go beyond judgment. When you stop to judging you and you stop to judging people for what they choose or not choose, you just enjoy your life and be okay if people are happy too.
Wow, I love that. And what I heard you say, which a lot of people kind of like, I think, not know. So you're saying that you can be you even at work, even in corporation, even where there
Totally.
is a lot of rules where you were working. So you don't have to sit at home and be, or just do access to be. You can
Totally.
actually bring those into working space. So can we kind of like play with that a little bit? So can you tell people, because a lot of them kind of like will say, no, 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 at work I'm one person, at home I'm another, in the store I'm a third person. Can you speak more about us being that being space?
The thing is, we have to ask the question, what is required in any situation, and also what people are willing to receive.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are in business, in a company, and people are really pragmatic, and they believe in something have to be like that and not like that. So you have to be aware about that and just begin to bring possibility with their own language. So you have to speak people how they speak, and don't speak from another place. You can speak about the same thing at a director of a company, or I don't know, a yoga teacher with more about energy, connect with body, with a child, with your husband, with your parents. You have different kind of people, and you know if you have the same way to speak, you will lose some of them. But
Mm-hmm.
if you talk with their language, and where they can understand what you have to say, but also you don't push too much about what you have to say because they don't willing to receive, you can have this kind of interaction and make people curious and let them ask you questions.
Yeah, that's so true, because a lot of times, especially like before access or even in the beginning of access, I would give them my awarenesses. It
Just
was like,
you, Helen, just you.
yeah, they judge me. They kind of like lost a lot of friends that way. Well, some of them it's okay to lose, but it's kind of like that, what they can hear. I love that. And that's being you. This is not about lying or contracting, it's knowing who you are and kind of like rolling with punches, I would say.
It's being you, and it's being kind too, because it's
Yeah.
giving them only what you can receive, and it's only recently what they can receive. It's only recently been like landing in my universe where I don't necessarily see things in the same way that other people do,
Hmm.
and I have kind of lost them, or maybe been quote unquote too much for them because of the things that I'm seeing and I'm speaking about. But the quarantine has kind of made it all like, much easier, far less
Yeah.
face-to-face interaction from that perspective. But it's opened up a different space for people to be able to receive from one another. So it's really interesting. But it's being you, being kind to you, and being kind to them,
Hmm.
to know that they can only get this aspect of it, and that's
Yeah.
okay too.
And when you are in this aspect, you never lie to you about what you are.
Yeah.
You don't about just the things you can share with people, but you know more is available, but just you can have this conversation. So being you, it's to be in this space of conversation. You know what you know what you are, and in the same time you have this kindness, as you said, Rachel, and this awareness about what you can speak about and what that will create. And sometimes when we say too much, it's sometimes to prove something to people. And
Yeah.
when you're truly being you, you have nothing to prove or to be validated of. You are just aware about what people can hear, and you have other people what you can have other conversation, and don't have to be in conflict, have to prove anything, but just, yes, to be in this allowance of everyone.
It's a really interesting uh, difference. You're either being or you're proving.
Yeah.
You're either, at ease and relaxed and willing to be you in whatever situation, or you're trying to play the right and wrong game and be in conflict. And it's fascinating. It's really, really fascinating. I don't know what just beeped me.
Yeah. It is fascinating, but it's also a lot of times takes us out of that equation or calculation when we have to do, when we ought to do, kind of must, and go into what will create the most.
Totally.
Very much so.
Yeah, because when we try to prove, it's all about the obligation that and the rightness. Oh my God, I just realized that it's
It's
about
a
being right.
yes. It's a package. We can just don't choose this package. Choose a package with craziness, too much happiness, but not this right and wrong and proving and validation.
Yeah.
No, it's not funny at all. And how many of us have we had choosing that, and it's okay. But even if until now people look at this conversation, you're choosing that, just know you can choose now the other package, and be different just by your choice. Just now say
Just
I choose it and let's go.
I love that. Is it's as easy as just, okay, I'm not going to keep going down that path. I'm going to choose something different. This no longer works for me. And I love that. I love that. I love the way you put it. It's a different package.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's cool. What is your favorite Being You tool? Or what do you most enjoy in the Being You classes, Marie-Sandrine?
Oh, I have so much. If I have a problem, I can choose one thing. So what I prefer, what I can share here,
What are
I
your
love, I
favorites?
love now to live in question. And I say now because during many years, I was so much in my head and in computation and in the response and control of everything. So for me to jump in this way, to be in question anytime, bring me so much ease, and also let me see so much more it's possible. Finally, I think if I control so well, I can have the perfect things and etc. But when you let it go, all of that things come quicklier.
Yeah,
Yes, quickly.
quicker,
Uh,
quickly.
quicker, yes, with more ease. And in fact, you have to do less things. And in this space of question, you truly more in being. And when you more being, more present, things show up with more ease and quickly. So yes, definitely one of my favorite tools is ask a question.
Do you have a particular favorite? Or
Question?
are they all, yeah, or are they
Yes,
all?
I have one. When I say it, it's always freezing. It's what else is possible I never considered before. Because
I
when
like,
I add this question, this is I can be in this way I always had in my life and go out in conclusion. Everything I have in my head is possible. So when I tap in this energy, even if I don't know what is it, I'm like a little girl, exciting. Yes, what is this possible? I never
woohoo!
considered before.
Yeah, it opens up the universe to all sorts of possibilities. I love that one. And there's no one possibility. There are billions of them all around.
Yes,
So what else
totally.
beyond our heads? I love that one. And I like its partner. How does it get any better than that too?
Yes, totally.
They're good friends.
Yes.
Any other tools you like about like being you and inviting different possibilities that people can use on daily basis? I know what else is possible, but anything else they can kind of like when they're in the middle of storm.
So what question we can ask in this moment, you said? One I love about this being you tool, if I truly being me, what I choose now.
I like that.
And or if I truly being me, where I will be also, and with whom I will be. It's also to come back in the space of you to make your choice. So it's a totally different perspective just asking this question.
I like that a lot because it brings you to the space of you rather
Mhm.
than that proving space. proving for somebody or proving to fit in or whatever it is. And it just brings you into home, into
Yes. And
Yeah.
also, it's because sometimes you don't acknowledge that, but for a choice, you begin to think to one people for one situation and blah blah blah, and you go out of you and finally make choice for people and against you, rather than to make choice for you and not against people, and it's really different.
It
Oh,
is
this is
very,
a
very
mic
different
drop,
because it
actually.
includes, you're not against the world. There's no
No.
conflict in that
Yeah.
choice.
Because
So,
in people's universes, it's either for me and against, or for people against me. People don't get that you can be for you and not against.
Totally.
Can you
And
speak more to that? Because
yes, because when you are in this space, you are not in conflict with people. You don't have to prove, you don't want to be superior. You are just you. And this kind of energy is really inviting for people to be interesting about what you are, what you are doing, rather than to perceive this lack of competition, of separation. So when you are in your way of living and is like what people say, what people choose is not important. You keep going. This is something interests people to finally, how I can say that, to be curious about what are you using to be in this space of peace and play and also possibilities. Because when you are in this space, you always add, and you add. With question things you didn't think about and people didn't think about too.
yeah,
yeah.
nobody
So
imagines those possibilities until you
Totally.
begin to add them with
So
the play, with the questions, and with the wonder. And
you
I love
begin
that.
to
It's
be
not
an invitation.
yeah. And
and it is invitation to different possibility. And how much people kind of like, especially now with COVID, it's so much isolation. How much of that asking what else is possible can change people's perspective?
well, because most people are living in conclusions. And again, all those conclusions go back to this either or world.
Yep.
Either I make the right choice or the wrong choice. The package that's a little stinky, not the one we'd like to play with. But when they go to the and, when they're not, when they're choosing for themselves, and that includes the rest of the
Mhm.
world as well, there's that moreness in the world. There's the willingness to just be a happy, joyous moron who just delights in adding more, asking more, wondering more, playing more, and including more. And life and living just becomes so much more miraculous, magical, vibrant, phenomenal. And
Yes.
it doesn't come from this.
No,
Now
mind is
definitely
like,
not.
yeah, with mind kind of like out of the way.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Yeah, mind goes out and suddenly a world of possibilities opens. It's almost as if, when we mind the mind, or mind what other people have put into our mind, or what we've agreed with other people's points of view, we lose ourselves in the process. So the more mindless, happier. What a concept.
That's an interesting possibility. Mindless.
Yes, minded.
Maybe it's another title for TV show.
Yeah, mindless living rather than mindful. Mindful, well, in one aspect of it is putting so much into the mind. But when we're willing to go beyond it and just perceive things rather than think about them so much, receive from them rather than try to weigh and measure and calculate and compute. Enjoy the experience and be present with it rather than try to resist or to fight anything or to prove anything. And what
Yeah,
gift is there in all that?
this kind of brings me to our wonderful new tool that we have in Access, light and heavy.
Uh-huh.
Whatever,
I like that one.
yeah, just showed up on the radar,
It's brand new.
brand new. Because whatever is true is light, and whatever is contracting and heavy is a lie. So how much of that proving and thinking and mind working or mind fucking is that lies, like that heaviness. And being is about lightness.
And that's where being too much is following the lightness and
Exactly.
following that joy and being willing to have that regardless of what other people are choosing, not against them, but recognizing that they can choose what works for them
Mhm.
and you can choose what works for you. And it's not like this, it's honoring yourself and honoring them as well.
Yeah.
Yes, and I will say this way to being too much, it's just not be comfortable in the way of being, or you know, even if we say being you, there is something like, yes, I will be me, but not too much. But yes,
Mhm.
always to have this kind of compromise. Is it? Yes.
Yeah.
Compromise, yes, and it's how when you are too much, this is not in your world. You can choose everything. It's fun for you, and you also really comfortable when you speak and people don't understand anything. It's okay. It's just you're really comfortable to be in this different and craziness, and don't put the volume down because you see people like look at you strangely, or it's
Mhm.
just if you truly push the volume up in your being, you fully truly being you, and this is for my part what I see. It's could be the thing can how I can say that people can be the most surprised and finally the most ask for.
Mm.
Yes.
It's wonderful.
So don't do that. Don't be too
Don't
much.
do that. No, 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 no. That that would be bad. That would be
Very
so
bad.
bad.
Very bad.
But we like
Oh.
being very bad, so that's very good. But nobody else can choose that. Just, whoever feels like playing with being too much or being,
Mhm.
just even
Just
being. There's
being.
being part one package, and there's being too much, exponentialized being willing to be
But
so fully.
the thing,
And
the
then
thing,
being happy. There is
yes,
also being happy.
yes. But the thing for me, I was in this space of being me, and now I explore this kind of being too much. I perceive it's truly being me. It's not too much.
So, okay, go back to that. I would love to know more. Being you versus truly being you. What is that?
Because when you are in this first place of being you, you have this point of view about what you have to be. In a way, you begin to let it go some things, but you have definition or something like you have to be. When you're truly being you, you have no point of view about anything about you, truly, truly, truly. And when you have no point of view about anything, you can choose anything. And this is this bridge between being you and being too much. It's what you truly be. It's you have no point of view, no reference points, and also no definition at all about you. You like a
Blank.
new page, yes, totally. And but with new page, as when you do your list for the Santa Cruz, what is that?
Yeah, Santa Claus. Yeah.
Yes, and you can put anything on this page, and you can change, and you can have no limitation about what you ask for. You know, it's a different energy just to be in this space, or being me, but being me in this reality. You know, truly being you is truly being you beyond this reality, even if people never saw that before.
I fucking love that. That's brilliant. I love that. Thank you for putting it into words.
Thank you.
That is fantastic. It's so wow. To me, the energy of being us and the energy of, you know, in the clearings, a lot of times we ask what energy, what space, what consciousness, what choice, magic, miracle, possibility, mystery. You can't contain those words. There's no container, there's no definition, really. They're beyond all of that. And just like we are beyond all of that. And I love that, because when we're truly, truly being us, it is beyond any cognitizable, rational, defined, confined, limited, whatever it is. There's just wonder and magic that's unfolding with every question, with every choice, with every wondering, with every willingness to even put a toe beyond where we've chosen so far and head across that bridge into a new reality, one step at a time, one choice at a time.
Yeah.
Because when we start putting our mind to it, everything else disappears,
Yeah.
and we don't exist.
Yeah.
And what I would like to add for people, look at that. Being too much is not push yourself to do extraordinary things. It's just being you. And sometimes it's people say to you, "Wow, what you're doing, it's extraordinary." But you don't really look at that because it's what you are. So they don't feel for you like something really big. But for people, you can also listen to people about what they say when they don't judge, of course. But when people say think about you and how they admire what you are doing, etc., it's the time to actualize what you are willing to choose, willing to be, how much different you are, and also acknowledge that too much you already be finally.
Yeah.
This is a piece like acknowledging who
Yeah.
you be. Because a lot of times, if we don't acknowledge it, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, I've done it, I've been that. And then we go on, and it's kind of like diminishes. The idea is more to acknowledge every little magic and miracles we are.
Yes. When you acknowledge, you can ask for more.
Exactly. Exactly. If you don't acknowledge, you dismiss it. You kind of like, okay, it's not important. I'm not important. How often do we do that?
Yeah.
Dismissing ourselves. Not necessarily even kind of like for other people. It's about being modest, about like all those judgments, not being too much.
Yeah. And also being normal. All
Being
you do
normal,
is
yeah.
normal. Is not, you don't acknowledge, no. All you be and all you choose is not normal. And when it's normal for you, look at people around you. And sometimes they said it's just amazing. And you say, no, it's normal. But if you acknowledge it's amazing, and finally you, in your way of being, you are different, and you have the ease to choose, to be, to do things people have not ease with that, you can also acknowledge that as a potential and competence, and begin to use it in your advantage in your life, and let grow it and explore it, and many possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
And everything changes.
Yeah.
It changes. everything changes. Because if we actually see who we are, because a lot of times we kind of like look at everything, including ourselves, through our judgments. And it's the judgments not allowing us to see the magic. And that not inability, but it's more of refusing to be too much, refusing to be that magic. Because then we're different.
Yes. But magic is just a choice.
Magic is just a choice.
I love
And
that. I love that. Magic is just a choice. I mean, it is, but hashtag.
Yes, exactly.
Whatever. It's just a fucking choice. And all we have to do is just choose it. What if we did actually begin, if magic is just a choice, what if we begin our day with magic? What if we begin every choice acknowledging the magic that we be and asking for more magic and inviting more magic? And what is magic for us? You know, and what
all
else
those
could be
questions,
beyond it
Rachel.
be considered?
Yeah, all
Well,
those questions. But I love it. And yet people will look at you and some of them will judge you for those questions. I actually had one person run away from my class very upset because I wouldn't answer any of her questions. Because people, when they hear a lot of questions, they look at you and say, okay, so give me the answers.
actually, I have to admit something.
Uh-huh.
With the Being You Changing the World book, which, by the way, you can go to beingyouchangingtheworld.com and get a copy of it if you don't have it yet, or Amazon or the Access
Mhm.
Shop or wherever. Awesome book. Dr. Dane there having a conversation with us through the book. And it's got lots of questions. And I
Yeah.
gifted the book to my son's class. He was in what do you call those schools where kids sleep away? They stay, I forgot, there's a word for it. With
Overnight school.
it's not, but it's not like one overnight
Yeah.
or whatever. They
Yeah.
they go, somewhere, boarding schools. That's the
Yeah.
word. So this is boarding school, and there are kids, Israeli kids there, but there are also kids from all over the world. They had a class of 25 kids from everywhere. They didn't have anybody from France though. They did have
Yeah.
Russia, they did have Germany, they had Italy, they had Australia, they had Canada, the United States, Guatemala. They had people from everywhere around. And this one kid from Australia, specifically, fluent in English, not a problem, picked up the book and started reading it and said, I can't deal with this. There are no answers here for me.
Yeah.
And I explained to him, I spoke with him, we were joking, and I said, it is about you. When you read the question, the answers for you, they're not answers, they're awarenesses, but those little whispers come up because it isn't somebody else putting their answer on you. It's giving you a space for your knowing, your wisdom, your brilliance to begin to come and play. And it won't if somebody's giving you the answer. But thank you, Sara Maria, boarding school. I just saw the comment. Sorry, a little late.
Yeah.
But it's fascinating how many people look for somebody, please give me the correct answer so that I make sure I'm in the correct package rather than I can just choose.
Because I remember the famous Mark Twain phrase that he said, people ask questions only for two reasons. But that's kind of like this reality. When they're looking for the answer, it's either to blame somebody for when they follow it or go the opposite way.
Huh. I've never heard that quote. That's
I
very
might
interesting.
misquote it because I read it in Russian. So it's English translated into Russian, translated into English. As far as I remember when I was reading it when I was 10 years old.
But it left an impression. You're
It
either looking
did
to blame or to point a finger or to say, well, this didn't work because you,
because
rather
of
than
you. But
what do
when
I
we
know?
Right, but when we actually not looking for the answer or not looking for the blame, not looking for like go the opposite way and just follow our own awareness. Because I know a lot of times in my life, I would go the opposite. When people tell me something to do, I would do the opposite.
Too good humanoid you.
Yeah, even if it was against me, I would still do the opposite.
And in that, there isn't much choice.
No, it's not a choice at all. It's kind of like
It's a reaction.
predictable. Oh my God, this is predictable reality. And instead, when we just ask the question and be the question, it opens up so many possibilities. And the universe, a lot of times, answers in such an interesting way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And what else is possible?
Yeah.
And what else is possible?
Being that space, you said peace in air quotes before.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a peace beyond the peace that we think of as a utopian ideal or as this, distractor implant of peace. There's this, I guess in access speak, it would be ease and relaxation
Yeah.
and trust in you and trust in the universe. I'm not sure how to even put it into words, and a lot of times words don't give the sense of what's available.
Because words are still limited by the definition of the word. Because how many definitions are in the dictionary of each word? Maybe
Even
1, 2, or 5.
if you look at that, how many definitions do people have of why is it that the Being You classes are the ones that for so many of us, maybe not for everybody, but I know in my case, like the last class that I would ever take would be a Being You class. I've done the entities, I've done the bodies, I've done the horses, I've done the business, I've done, everything, but Being You, I know. But it's all about that. That's the underlying everything. The beauty in it is in the being. And words don't even begin to encompass what is being. How can you put that into words? It's this experimenting and experiencing and choosing.
Yeah.
That's so very different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So grateful for those conversations we have, and especially today with Marie-Sandrine. Thank you for coming here.
Russianizing her name, Marie-Sandrine, or maybe
Sandrina. This is because I'm close to Mediterranean, so this is in south of France you have like Italia and Spain, so Marie-Sandrine. It's
Marie-Sandrine.
this is the vibe of other country close to me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, ladies, for this conversation and for bring possibilities for people to have another way to hear what is being us, and also to have example of people choose it. And yes, how being you can bring so much more than you can imagine, and differently for each of us. There is not a recipe. It's truly yes, have this courage to choose it, and after the magic happen.
I love that. There's no one prescription. It's all this beautiful exploration.
And it's just, well, the prescription is one. Be you. Whatever it looks like.
Okay, so okay, Marie-Sandrine had said questions, asking questions, being the question beforehand. Next thing, something from each of us. Being you. How do people begin to be themselves? Other than, pick up the book.
Yeah, pick up the book.
Or just begin now.
Class. Or
what is being you?
Or just ask, what is being?
It's impossible in world, as you said. And I invite all people look at this video to live a class, have this adventure. When I finished my class Being You, where I attended,
Yes.
I can say anything, but I was so different.
Yeah.
So this is something people have to experience. It's an energy, it's a space of being. It's not a definition, and it's truly to go beyond definition. So for this question, I will not have answer, just the signal. When you truly being you, it's when you are happy. What I can say could be that.
Love that.
Exactly.
I love that. I love that. And I perceive it so much in that space and ease and relaxation that you're being, and inviting us to energetically just by being on the stream with you. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for all people choosing to listen to this conversation. And I'm so glad and happy to play with all Being You Certified Facilitator, and all people love this tool. We have too much to share. So thank you for this conversation. It's amazing. I'm so grateful.
Our
Thank you.
pleasure. Thank you for joining us, and thank you everybody who's been on live or will be watching in the future. And really, these conversations, these tools, these awarenesses, these ahas, sometimes don't even necessarily land on a surface level. It's where they begin to permeate and to infiltrate every aspect of your world, where your being begins to come out of hiding and melt into the world with you. Thank you.
Thank you. And it's about choosing more for you. What will you choose today?
Have too much fun.
Thank you.
And have way too much fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You.